This is the upgrade I've been waiting for the most. We're having a huge electrical upgrade and an install, and we've got three 320 amp hour lithium batteries getting installed and all this Victron gear behind me. Good exercise that, Phil.
Thanks, Dave.
So they're doing this to pull the big cables through, and then this will go underneath the van, so the cables are protected from the elements.
And here she is.
Good morning.
Hello, gorgeous.
How are you doing?
Good. How was your trip here, right?
Yeah, well, no, I got stuck. I was on the first row behind a rolling roadblock at one point.
Oh.
Took a while.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. It's sunshiny weather.
Yay.
It's taken 2 men to handle the trunking for all that giant cabling for the electrical system.
So you'll see in here, they've put a frame, and this is where we're going to mount the batteries. And that big cable they run underneath, that comes out here, and it's going to go into this blue trunking. Right, guys, this is Matt, and he's a Radford. What's the chance of that he's another Radford?
I know, all the possibilities.
And he's cut a piece of dye bond to go on the end of the frame. And that there is where we're going to hang the MultiPlus inverter, right?
Lovely.
Fantastic.
Right, here comes the science bit, because there was no way I was going for this upgrade without understanding it. Steve had to bring me round because it's quite an expensive upgrade. So, batteries. Batteries just store your energy. There's one at the front for your engine, and then you've got a couple in the back usually to run everything that's in the habitational side of your van. Now, there are 2 types of battery. One is the old style lead acid battery, and the other is the new modern technology of lithium batteries. We're moving from this lead acid to lithium for 4 main reasons. The first is the weight. Size for size, a lithium battery is half the weight of a lead acid battery. Now, if you think about that in terms of your payload, that can make a big difference. The second reason is the energy density of a lithium is much better than the lead acid. What I mean by that is you can discharge a lead acid battery down to about 50%, and then the other 50% isn't usable because the voltage output has dropped. That 50% of the lead acid battery is also really important, because if you drop below 50%, you're going to cause permanent damage to the battery. And that means it's not going to charge up as well, and you're also going to reduce the number of life cycles for the battery. Charging up a lithium is much more efficient and faster than charging up a lead acid battery. No matter which system you're using, whether it's solar, whether you're plugged in or you're driving along, when you're charging up a lead acid battery, it can lose up to 20% of the input. It just doesn't get used. When you do that with a lithium, it can store a much bigger percentage, a much bigger proportion of all the energy that's going in. It can be stored. I was just chatting with Rob, and he said something that stuck with me. He said an average lithium is much better than a really good lead acid battery. And we could get an average lithium anyway, but the reason we've come here is that they've got over 25 years experience with motorhomes. They've been in the battery business for 5 years now, and all that experience with batteries is with motorhomes. They know their stuff. As well as that, they've got a 6-year warranty that they offer, even though the battery should last much longer than that. We're here because their customer service is fantastic. They've been really helpful, and they've really helped me understand. They've really helped Steve sell this whole upgrade to me. I hope this has helped you. I'm not sending you out to go and get your lithiums done straight away. You do not need to change your batteries. But if you're thinking about it, have a look at the technology and maybe come and speak to Rob. He'll be able to help you.
Clearly laying them out here to see how we're going to do them. So Rich is just riveting on some straps here so we can strap the batteries down so they're not going anywhere when they're in. And here's the main part of the install. 320 amp hour lithium batteries. Look at this. And that's nice and neat to be able to box that all together. And we've tied it in with some straps. This will also be bolted in into the garage there. But how good does that look? I guess it pays to be small sometimes to be able to fit in the garage like that.
Of course, yes. It does have its bonus points, doesn't it?
So while Richard's outside doing the work in the panel there, Phil is rewiring the back of the Sargent unit and making some essential changes here.
Yeah, so we're wiring it in so that we can get the inverter powering the van, powering all the sockets in the van. We're actually using 3 cables, so as well as having the power coming here, we're also making sure that it doesn't turn on some of the things that we don't want it to, like the fridge.
Right. Because that will drain the batteries.
That will drain the batteries.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, we want the option to do it if we've got loads of sun, but
and that's a job we discussed you're going to do later,
yeah.
right? And put a relay in, so when my batteries are fully charged, we can use the sun and the solar panels to power the fridge on 240. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
And we have it so that it will automatically switch over and do that, so you don't have to make a decision. When the batteries get to 100% charged, if the inverter is turned on, which with this kind of inverter you leave them turned on most of the time, it will automatically switch over and start passing power to the fridge. The fridge will switch to 240 volts and save your gas for you.
Right,
instead
and
of,
when we're wild camping and I'm on gas, right.
yeah, so it'll do it for you.
Fantastic, Phil.
You won't even have to think about it.
Brilliant. And guys, don't be asking me the technical questions on this, because I really haven't got a clue, all right? These guys are just taking care of it for me. But I'm sure if you get in the comments, our Phil may have the answer for you, and he'll probably keep you on the comments of this one, Phil.
I will do. I might not answer them straight away, but I certainly will answer any technical questions that you're interested in.
There you go, guys.
Right, this is really exciting because this is Rob, and I've heard about Rob a lot, but I've never actually met you in person or seen you before today. Now, how did you go from being a motorhome dealer of 25 years experience to being a battery dealer?
Through a friend actually initially, who's also in the motorhome industry, and we've had our share of replacing hundreds of batteries a year and power issues, and I got involved through that, and it was a natural progression. I felt it was a bit of a no-brainer because we already know the systems that we're installing into, we've got the technicians and things like that, so I thought it led nicely into it.
Makes a lot of sense.
It interested me as well. It was quite, I find it very interesting.
Yeah,
it's a bit nerdy, but
we like nerds. So changing the batteries on motorhomes and caravans naturally.
Yeah,
saw
we
the
get a lot of
limitations.
issues. People leave the vehicles a long time. We're getting lots of low power issues, and people wanting to go off grid now. So it was a really nice way to enable that and further that. So I felt it was a very good inroad for us.
Okay. Now we came to you because Daz and Lou and Emily and Will's whereabouts all recommended you. Well, no,
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. Louise told Steve to come here, and Steve always does what Louise tells him.
Yep.
Probably everyone does, actually. But why would anyone else want to come to you?
Well, I think we're just sort of a brand that's based on quality and on service. You know, if you want to buy on price and you want to buy cheap, buy on Amazon or eBay, but what do you do if it goes wrong? You know, £600-700 for a battery. If you know, where's the technical support with your systems? That's what we provide, and we believe is our value, plus an excellent warranty. And we are a real place. If you had to, you could drive up and exchange your battery, or we can send it out. And you can ring us and actually talk to somebody. Whereas if you buy again off an internet website for some whatever branded battery, where is the backup and support?
Yeah,
if it does go wrong.
Absolutely. Now, you don't do as many installs as you anymore?
No, we don't. We don't do loads of installs, but we've got an installers and suppliers page with dedicated people in various parts of the country. Some good people we're working with. I mean, some people do it themselves and they just want the equipment and maybe a bit of advice.
Yeah.
So they can buy batteries direct, and we can help them with their system.
Yep.
Or go to one of the installers.
Fantastic. And that's all across the country, so
you're
never too far from an installer.
Check it on the website.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. You're
welcome.
Fantastic to finally meet the man behind the batteries.
And you, and Steve, yeah, great.
Thank you.
Cheers, Rob. Thanks, mate. So this install has taken 2 days. I've been here for 2 days with Phil. Phil's van's here as well. Been at Oak Tree Motorhomes, Nottingham. However, these guys are stacked out. But I'm going to put a list of the available dealers that you can get an install done of these batteries, these EcoTree batteries. I'm going to put a list in the description, so take a look at that. So this is where I've been staying for the last couple of days. Been camped out inside the unit here. And our Richard and Phil's got us handled. They've been looking after things. Look at this. I'll show you this when it's finished. But it's really starting to come to play.
Richard is an artist.
He is an artist, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Fabulous. If I'd put it in, they'd all be upside down.
So finishing off wiring, hopefully we'll get this finished today, right?
Yes. Batteries are in.
Yes.
Inverters in.
Yeah.
We've got all the beautiful blue boxes done.
The sea of blue that you were telling me
We've just got to
about.
connect them together now.
Right.
This is where it gets more interesting.
So right here are our 2 lead acid leisure batteries that are coming out. And when they're out, it's going to make this area under the seats a lot more usable, right, Phil?
Yeah. Because we'll be able to put a board across then and cover up all these the cables and pipe work, and then Steve, there's like a lip in here if you have a look,
right,
that we can come across, put a nice board across, and then this can start being used for storage.
We'll have another cupboard to store stuff. I'm sure we'll find something to store in there, probably kids' toys. I'd forgotten how heavy a lead acid battery is. I've just taken these 2 out and they weigh a ton, so let's put them on the scales to see how they compare to the 320 lithiums that we're putting in. Right, I'm unfit, but let's get these on the scales. There you go, that's weighing 30 kilograms. Right, 30 kilograms, guys. Let's take that off. Jesus. I used to be in shape. Let's try the 320. Now this is a much bigger unit and it already weighs less. Well, 2930, so very, very similar. But these are 100 amp hour. This is 320 amp hours. So for a similar weight, we've got over 3 times. And in fact, over 6 times are usable, because of course, I can only use half of these, 50% of these lead acids, and I can use almost 100% of the lithium. So what a weight saving and a gain on the amp hours in the batteries. So it's quite common for us to get approached by companies to promote their products. That's not what happened at EcoTree. We saw that Daz had used EcoTree. We saw that Lou and Em had used EcoTree. Tash had even got batteries, and even Will. It seems that everyone's coming to EcoTree, so this is the reason we came to EcoTree. We approached them, and they seem to be one of the best in the business. So that's why we've come to EcoTree and why we'll be using their batteries.
For another rubber grommet.
You having fun in there?
Oh, absolutely amazing. Great Friday afternoon in here.
But you've got it all wired up for us now.
All the wires on all the terminals. Yeah, just finished off putting all the earths on, so yeah.
Nice one, Matt.
Looking good.
Bit of a squeeze in there.
Just a little bit, yes. Just a little bit.
Okay, our 2-day install was turned into a 3-day install. So it's 7:45 and Phil's still grafting over there. And it looks like it's going to be grafting until late. Bless him. So thanks, Phil.
Yeah, yep. It's not late at night and I'm sitting here playing with big cable.
Bless him. So no, really, really appreciate your help, Phil. Guys, would you do me a favour? Philip Tomlinson, would you head over to his YouTube channel and maybe hit subscribe on his channel? He's threatening to put some videos out, you know.
I may do one day.
He may do one day, so I'll put a link in the description. Would you head over there and hit subscribe for me? I'd really appreciate that. Nearly 10 o'clock. And this legend is still cracking on. I'm just about keeping my eyes open here. I'm shattered. Just connecting the front battery up now. Then I think he's just got an hour or two's programming to do. Oh, right, guys, it's been a few days since the electrical install. We're now at Camp Quirky, and Phil has just done a few more tweaks to the system. Let's show you exactly what we got. Phil, will you show them and explain in layman's terms what we've done here?
So you don't want it full on geek then?
Not full on geek, not full on geeky Phil.
So down here we've got 3 320 amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries, which gives us a total of 960 amp hours of batteries. Now having that many batteries means we need to charge them. So the first thing we've got up the top up here is we have 2 Victron Orions. Both of these will put 30 amps into the battery. We've got some really chunky cables down here that run forward. These are actually staged, so one comes in and then when the battery's a bit more charged the other one comes in. On the next row we've got MPPTs. Now these take power from the sun through the solar panels. This one is for the rear 375 watt solar panel. This one is for the front 375 watt solar panel. And we actually have another SmartSolar, another Victron one inside the van, which does the other 200 watts of panels, giving us a total of 975 watts of solar. And we can put around about 80 amps into the batteries off those. Here we have a Cerbo, and now this is the brain that controls all these. All these devices are talking to this, and in a minute we'll show you the nice touchscreen inside where we can control all of the systems. This here, the Lynx power in, this has all our main input from the batteries, and then it distributes it out to all the things that we want to work. We've got some isolators and fuses here for the solar panels. Here we've got Steve's inverter. It's a 3000 watt inverter, but it's also a 120 amp battery charger, so that when Steve does go on site occasionally when he's not wild camping, he can get those battery charged, completely recharged on the evening. Then we've got isolator switches down here, one that isolates the battery bank, one that isolates the big cables that go to the front, and the BMV. The rest of it we'll show you inside. So inside the van we have the Victron Touch 70 control panel, and this allows Steve to control all of the stuff and see what's going on. So at the moment you can see his batteries are 100% charged, even though we're actually running the fridge on mains at the moment. So you can see it's 225 watt loads on the inverter. But the solar's producing 257. Now, it would be producing more, but there's nowhere for it to go because the batteries are full. So if you add this number and that number, it equals approximately that number there. Now, we can also tap on the screen and we can have a look at some of the other things about Steve's van. I won't get too technical with this, but a couple of things we can see is we can see his freezer temperature is at -20 degrees centigrade. We can see his fridge temperature. As we scroll down here, we can see the external van temperature, internal van temperature, and we can see how much power each of the solar panels is putting in, and we can see his batteries at 100% and 13.66 volts. So this allows us to control everything in the van, and not only can we control it from there, but we can also control it on a mobile phone. So this is the data from Steve's van on my mobile phone. This can be read anywhere in the world. So we can actually see all of the AC inputs. We can also see, this gives GPS data. We can see where the van's parked, how much solar we've got going on. But the most important thing for Steve is that this will run his air conditioning for 16 hours overnight whilst wild camping.
And how cool is that?